After creating admin only middleware, we will create auth middleware. Inside the middleware folder, the purpose of this middleware is to protect private routes and make sure that only authentication user can access them. First, we import the JSON Web Token package because we will need it to verify token. Then, we importing our user model so that we can fetch the authentication user from the database. Now here we create an asynchronous middleware function since we will be make database call and we use async function. We wrap everything inside the try catch block to handle any authentication error grateful. First we extract the authentication header from the incoming request. Next we check if an authentication header exists and follows the barrier token format. If the header is missing or invalid, we immediately return an 401 unauthorized response. Now we extract the actual token from the header. The header contains the word barrier followed by the token, so we split the string and take the second value. Now here we verify the token using our secret key. If the token is valid, JWT return the decode payload. If the token is valid or expired, an error will be thrown. After decoding the token, we get the user ID and search for that user in the database. We also exclude the passport field for security reason. Now we check if not user, then we send success false and message unauthorized. Even if the token is valid, we still need to make sure that the user actually exists in the database. If not, then we send unauthorized message error. Now if everything is valid, we attach the authenticated user's data to the request object. This allows us to access user information in any protected route. And finally we call next to pass control the next middleware or route handler. Now if anything error in the try block during the token verification or database loops, the catch block handle it and return the unauthorized response. Now everything is okay. In the last we export default auth middleware. Now we can use this middleware in any folder. So in the summary, if you don't know anything what is this file is doing, I will tell you. This middleware check for the JWT token, verify it and find the corresponding user, attach the user to the request object and then allow access to protected routes. After creating auth middleware, the next step is to create a new file called user-login-controller.js. Inside the controller folder, in this file, we implement the role-based user login functionalities. The controller will handle user authentication, verify the user credentials, generate a JWT token, and return different response based on the user's role, such as admin or user. Now first we import bcrypt is used to compare the user entered password with the hash password stored in the database. And next is the JSON web token. It's used to generate an authentication token after successful login. And one is the .env/config. This load environment variable from the .env files. And last is input user model, is the MongoDB model used to access user data. Now we can creating a asynchronous controller function that handle user login request, and the function name is user login. Now we can use inside the function try catch block. In the try block we write all the code, and if anything error in the try block, the catch block will instant show error. First we write try block. Now we can write const email password equal to required body. This email and password are extract from the request body sent by the client. If not email and password, we return response status 400, success false, and message is please fill all the field. Next we write here const user equal to await user dot find one email, who search the database for a user with the provided email address, and if no user is found, we send return response status 400. Next we write here const check password equal to await bcrypt.compare password user dot password. Here I am comparing the password entered by the user with the hash password stored in the database. If the password don't match, we send return dot response status 400, success false, and message is incorrect password. Now once the credentials are verified, I generated a JWT token. The token contains the user ID, is signed with a secret key that comes from the .env file, and the expired after 1 day. Expired in 1 day means expired after 1 day token. Now I am checking the user role. If the user dot role equal to admin, I return response status 200 and success true, and message is admin login successfully with user data. And if the user dot role not equal to admin, then we also send return response status 200, success true, and message is user login successfully. What is happening there? If user equal to admin, then admin user go to the admin dashboard. If user equal to user, then go to the admin dashboard. Now in the catch block, if anything come error in the try block, then we send here return response status 400, success false, and message is error message and internal server error. Now everything is okay here. Now we can jump to the routes folder. Here we can create user routes.js file, and in this file we define the API endpoint. Now in this file, first we import express from express. Now I am here creating express router instead the user routes, and next is we export default routes because we need to use this app in the app.js file. Now here we write router.post/register, user register. This routes handle user register. Whenever a post request is sent to the register endpoint, the user register control will be executed. Here we write user.register because our user.register is our function name, and we import that from the user register controller file. Now here we also write router.post/login login user login function from the user login file. Similarly, this route handles the user authentication. When a post request is made to the /login endpoint, the user login controller will process the request and verify the user credentials. Now in the app.js file we write here Now in the app.js file we write app.use express.json because we write there because we have to test our API in the Postman. Now we import our user routes in the app.js file, so we write app.use/user routes, and we import user routers from the router.userroutes.js file. Now here we are getting some error in the user router file, so we have to go to the user router file, and here we can see our user login function error. So we have to go to the user login file, and we see the user login function name. Here you can see user login, U is capital, but in the user routes file we write here a small function name, so this is giving me the error. So user.login, here you can see user login comp successfully, but this is wrong. We write user capital, so we change them, write a small u, and in the user routes file also write a small u, and there you have to also write u. Now here you can see our server is running successfully. Now our authentication is completed. In the next video we test our role-based authentication system in the Postman, and also create the event controller file.